take that away and bring out a different one, like so. Now let's see if I got it. Yep, here we go. I'm going to distinguish between C's and D's as best I can. First of all, D's can look calm and adult, and even sound calm and adult on occasions, but they still make stupid decisions, hurtful decisions. Whereas if a C is calm, genuinely, they will make good decisions. So if you've got a partner, you calm them down, they'll be fine. Okay? Now they won't always. Why is that? Why only generally? Why not always? Why don't people always make good decisions when they're calm? They're in their adult. Why doesn't a kid in year 8 always make good decisions? Well, it could be their motivation, but even stronger than that, their motivation is probably driven by knowledge in your adult, and their knowledge is deficient. They don't know enough. They don't know, for example, that the more homework you do, the better off your exam result's going to be, for example. So, and they'd rather, therefore, watch TV. Yeah.
A kid doesn't need to be angry to have negative self-talk.
No, that's right. So some of them will have destructive self-talk even though they're looking very calm. Yeah. I'm thinking more the ones who that are genuinely calm. Self-talk's fine, but they just don't know enough about the relevance of what they're doing to what they need to do and all that sort of stuff. So that's why they'll start smoking, for all good reasons, but they're not aware really of the dangers of smoking, let's say. So one of the things you'll do in this, and you will find you may have to for some of them, especially when cultural things come in, you'll become a consultant. You're going to become a consultant, which means you're going to have to do some research on information sometimes. Not often, sometimes. You're going to have to find a reason why they shouldn't do what they're doing that they haven't thought of, other than just rights usually. So that's the first thing. So if you inform people, you calm them. These are two tricks, right? How do you calm people? Well, I said you could feed them, that'll calm them, but you can't always do that. But you're going to have to calm them and you're going to inform them, and you're going to assume that if they generally are calmed, they are of goodwill. That means they don't want to hurt anybody. And this is a very big distinction between them and D's. D's actually do want to annoy some D's want to annoy people. Some D's want to hurt people. They want to. They don't realise why they want to, but they actually intend to. Someone who sends, as someone said over here, a hurtful text, they do that on purpose. And explaining the impact that text has on other people will just make them more confident that they can send texts and hurt people. So what we do with a C that works actually solidifies a D. And I think I said to you, this is where I got into trouble. Did I tell you about that with restorative practices? Don't know if I told you, but I got into trouble because I said for Ds it's not going to work. They'll be told how harmful and hurtful their behaviour is, and they'll say they're really sorry, and they won't mean a word of it. They'll do it again. They'll now be convinced it was hurtful, so that was good. They'll play stronger. But in fact, I must say I'm not correct, because I think I also shared with you the respectful process of restorative practices seems to help Ds. Because we're doing restorative practices, we're refusing to hate them. And that seems to have an impact. So it's not actually the dialogue that helps them, it's the process is the message in a way. They feel good about themselves because people are behaving as if they're normal and nice and likeable, and that's very helpful. And last thing is the listening thing. This is the most interesting one. They'll let you get close. If you've got a D, they will pull away from you. So if I try and get close to a D, they'll make my life pretty difficult. Anyone tried that recently? Said something nice to a D or was nice to a kid, let's say, and the kid actually came tougher and harder? In the short term, usually, yeah? Yeah. And if you weather that, you'll be fine. And we know that. If we can get through that, if we can say to them, look, yeah, there's nothing you can do that's going to make me hate you, so I guess you better give it your best shot. So if you could do that, you'd accelerate that whole process. Hopefully come out safe. Okay, so what are we going to do? I'm going to see how good you are at listening, first of all, because that's usually a sticking point in this process. So I will demonstrate a simple reflective skill, which you've probably seen 1,000 times, but you'll see how difficult it is. And then I'll get you to practice. So someone tell me something about anything, and I will reflect it back to you to prove that I'm listening to you. I don't care what you talk about. Something that happened this morning, something that happened this week, how you're getting on with your adolescent children. I don't care. As long as I can see you as you speak. Who's prepared to share a thought? Yeah.
My daughter's driving me insane because she's never home.
Your daughter is what?
Driving me insane because she's never home.
Okay, now, being a man, I want to ask 1,000 questions. And I'm not allowed. So I can think of this at least 3 levels now. First of all, I could say, so you feel a bit frustrated because you can't get her to stay home. I could maybe take a chance and go lower and say, are you feeling in some way that you're not fulfilling your role because she's not at home? I could go even deeper and say, do you sense some sort of, I don't know, not incompetence, but some sort of guilt because you feel like you're really not doing your job because she's never home? It depends how risky I want to go and how well I've listened. So, any of those accurate? You like the first one, safer, isn't it? And most people won't let you go too far too soon. So when you listen, you've got to be careful because you'll scare people off. And so I'll start with the first one. So, yeah, so you're finding it a bit frustrating because she's never in the house. Now I can ask a question, thank goodness. I could ask how old she is. I could say, why do you need her there? All that stuff. But I can't do it in this process we're about to go through until I just listen. And to listen, I try and figure out what the person is feeling. Now, I could have said frustration, irritation. I could have gone deeper and said concern. I could have gone deeper and said some sort of guilt related to incompetence as a mother. Who knows? But I'd have to have some reason to do that. I don't know, you see. I'd love to find out later what you really share with me, but we'll do it later. Okay, so someone else do it and we'll do it again. Let's go. And then I've got to say the information again, but in different words, that's all. I can't say she's never home, because that's what she said. I've got to say she's not at home, she's not with you, she's always out. I've got to change the words. And I've got to do all this as I'm listening. And it's easy when you practice. So someone do something else and I'll try again and we'll see if I can do it again. And then, by the way, I like doing it. You know why? Because I am living proof that if I can do it, anyone in the room can do it. Because I don't do this normally, right? My kids are actually amused by the fact that I'm standing here telling you about listening. No, they are. They think, are you serious? Yeah. And I have a diary which has written in it, speak to your wife, because that's what she wrote in there. Because I'm very masculine. I don't share when I'm at home. I just close off. And I don't want to be disturbed, really, as much as I can. I mean, that's the very masculine end of behaviour, you know, in the cave stuff. So it's not something I do. And I have learned to sort of grunt, you know, like if she's sharing things, I'll go, And I'm not taking anything in. I mean, I'm just being a good husband as best I can, right? That's why I'm 42 years, right? I got there. So it must be working. She has low standards, what can I tell you? So